Hi everyone, I'm Chuck Padishall, Executive Director of your Community Mediation. This is the third video of a series we're creating to serve and support you and others in our communities. In our last two videos, we talked about how to take back some control during the stressful time, along with actions you can take to support yourself as well as your local community. Well, in today's video, we'll begin to talk about conflict and how to address conflict in our lives. We're currently living through a very stressful time, and many of us are constantly around family or roommates trying to navigate daily life, maybe even working or doing school from home. When we're around people constantly and feeling high stress, conflicts can naturally arise between yourself and those you live with. We'll be talking more about how to address these conflicts in the next videos, but today I wanted to introduce you to the concept of a conflict cycle. We're basing our own information off this fantastic diagram we received from Cindy Noble's book titled Conflict Management Coaching. This version of the conflict cycle goes over the internal and external processes that we all go through when experiencing a conflict. Let's take a look at it. Usually a conflict arises from a precipitating interaction. This could be an event like your partner not washing the dishes, or maybe your child interrupting your Zoom meeting. Then the conflict moves into your internal process, which is how your brain and emotional system is reacting to this event. Now, your reaction will depend on your specific trigger point, which just means that you most likely have an underlying value, need, or aspect of your identity that has been challenged by the event. Everyone's trigger points are different based on their own lived experiences. Next, the trigger point will make an internal impact, which means your emotions are now arriving, whether that's frustration, anger, sadness, confusion, etc. Your trigger point will always determine what kind of internal impact this event will cause and could be different for every single person, even if it's the same event. Then you will most likely make a quick assumption based on your emotions and lived experiences. Like, my partner must not care about me and how busy and stressed out I am since they didn't do the dishes like I asked them to. This assumption is based on what you think the other person's motives or intentions are, whether they're positive or negative. When we make assumptions about the other person's intentions, this can lead to a boundary being crossed with us, leading us from internal conflict to an external dispute. A boundary is our ability to tolerate another person's actions or words. So, once a boundary is crossed, we're unable to tolerate or push down our feelings about the event. Well, this is when we react to the event with all that is built up internally, including our emotions and assumptions about the other person's actions. This can be done verbally or physically, such as walking out of the room. Our own external reaction will then lead to consequences, whether they come from the other person, the environment, or are self-imposed. And these consequences, if not managed well, will lead to another precipitating interaction. Maybe it's how the other person reacts to your reaction. That will most likely lead to more conflict. Okay, that was a lot of information, I know. But I'm going to give you an example that will hopefully help clear up any confusion. Imagine that you're in traffic in the days when you're still commuting to work, and a car comes out of nowhere and cuts you off. You then get triggered by that event in some way. Maybe you've been in a car accident before and felt that your safety was at jeopardy. Your emotional reaction, the impact, would be feeling frightened and then angry and frustrated. This will cause an assumption, like, that person is so inconsiderate of others and is probably such a jerk. This assumption will then cross a boundary that we've created for ourselves. No one should jeopardize my safety like that. And then you have an external reaction, maybe like honking your car horn. And this reaction probably has consequences. Maybe that person honks back, or maybe someone else honks at you. Either way, it could cause another event that could perpetuate this cycle of conflict, and around you go. Does that make it a little more clear? Maybe think of your own example of something that happened recently where someone made you really mad or incredibly hurt. To interrupt these cycles, we need to gain self-awareness and be able to self-reflect on our own trigger points and how we react, and even what we assume about others' intentions. We'll talk more about how to be self-aware during active conflicts with others in our next video in this series. We'll also give you some tools to use in conflicts to interrupt the cycle. Maybe you can use it for the next time you get in a fight over who gets to do the dishes. We hope you found this information useful, and we'll tune in for our next video. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, please stay healthy and safe.